Hey, one more again, y'all. Was good? Welcome to another episode of the Political Chop Shop. You know, we do on here. We chop up the current political issues that's happening in the United States of America and abroad potentially. Depends on how our laws have jurisdiction in other places and ports, etc. So, in this piece today, we're going to talk about the Portland situation and how the left is jumping up and down. President Trump can't do this. And why do we have the federal troops here and doing this in the third? And what these people don't realize, and a lot of the people on the left that's going to watch this is going to look at me as like Trump is wrong, but Trump actually outsmarted you guys. He outsmarted you guys. He used the law to get around your own laws to do what he had to do to try to subdue this unrest, right? So we're gonna get into it real quick. You're gonna get a good laugh out of this one. So we got this story right here out of Fox News. Portland mayor demands Trump keep federal agents in your own buildings or have them leave our city. And as we see in the article, Ted Wheeler is demanding President Trump remove federal agents deployed to the city amid criticisms of a heavy-handed response against protesters and journalists and reports that militarized law enforcement personnel have refused to identify themselves. Wheeler goes on to say, keep your troops in your own buildings or have them leave our city. Wheeler said at a news conference Friday, this is part of the core media strategy out of Trump's White House to use federal troops to bolster his sagging polling data, and it is an absolute abuse of federal law enforcement officials. The ACLU decided to weigh in following a lawsuit against DHS and the U.S. Marshals for allegedly violating the rights of journalists and legal observers. The suit adds the federal agencies to an existing complaint to halt crowd control measures and the use of tear gas, rubber bullets against the media and legal observers during the protest. Now, those of you have probably seen the video Senator Jeff Merkley put out here. Say his tweet says authoritarian governments, not democratic republics, send unmarked authorities after protesters. These Trump bar tactics designed to eliminate any accountability are absolutely unacceptable in America and must end. Look at the video. Let's just check the video out and really take a peek and listen at what these people are saying, okay?
What are you doing? Use your words. What are you doing? Use your words. What are you doing?
I haven't done anything wrong.
Use your words.
What's going on, Trailers?
What is going on?
We need to know.
Who are you?
Why are you taking
NLG will get you out. What's your name? Tell us your name.
What's your name?
Okay, you're fine. We'll get you out.
Bro, what?
We got you, friend.
We got you.
Oh, fuck.
NLT.
You just violated their rights.
Oh. Kidnapping people.
You just violated their rights.
Thanks for keeping the fucking. Oh.
What are you doing?
So you hear, and I know a lot of people are looking at this and they're actually confused about what is actually happening here, right? With this detention. Well, those of you that do know and understand the Constitution, the Fourth Amendment, right, does not sing. Let's just look at it. We can look at it here together. The Fourth Amendment was only intended to protect against arbitrary arrest as well as against unreasonable searches. Was early assumed by Justice Marshall. Now, if we look down here a little bit, the Fourth Amendment does not require an officer to consider whether to issue a citation rather than arresting and placing in custody a person who has committed a minor offense, even a minor traffic offense. Okay, and if we look up above here, the Fourth Amendment applies to seizures, and it is not necessary that a detention be a formal arrest in order to bear the requirements of warrants or probable cause in instances in which warrants are not required. In this particular case with these officers, which found out to be DHS, they're DHS officers, had intel that these people were damaging federal property. So here's where the crux of the situation comes in. Now, they're saying these DHS officers here, and they are nowhere near any borders, right? Let's think about this a second. Portland, Oregon is on the coast. Portland, Oregon also has an international border. Portland is technically a border town. Think about that a second. And they also have an international airport there, which also makes them a border. Airports that receive international flights or quote unquote a port of entry is a border. DHS has all the jurisdiction in the world to do this. See, this is how they act smarter than them. And then let's go down their road a little bit and how they said that they didn't identify themselves, right? Well, according there's no CFR, no federal law that says federal law enforcement agents have to identify themselves. They can just roll up like you said in the video, picked up Shorty and rolled out into the unmarked vehicle. They don't have to have markings. Most state laws says law enforcement has to identify themselves, right? Federal, there's no federal law that says they must identify themselves. Now, here's what's going to really kick Oregon in the rear. Since all this unrest, Ted Wheeler and Governor Brown are saying, you know, they're overreach, federal government's overreaching and all that good stuff. Well, Oregon law, and I'll show you the receipt. Oregon Revised Statute, Section 133.245. A federal officer may arrest a person for any crime committed in the federal officer's presence if the federal officer has probable cause to believe the person committed the crime. Oregon law literally gives federal officers to enforce state law. And they have allowed all this damage to the federal courthouse, to other buildings surrounding it. The federal government had every right to go in there and trip them up on their own stuff. And a lot of us sat back and wondered why Trump was tweeting law and order, law and order. I'm gonna tell you, he got him. He straight got him this time with their own stuff. Their own stuff. So you know, we're tired of hearing these people talk about how Trump is overreaching with the federal forces and things of that nature. And it's a crying shame that these people do not know their own laws and statutes. And the man just came in there and did what he's supposed to do. And you know what? I hope he keeps doing that. In every city that has this unrest, he keeps doing that. If there's a law in that state that says federal officers can enforce state laws too, guess what? Roll them on in there. As long as it's legal, right? As long as it's legal for him to do it. But Portland got this whole sham wrong. Got the whole sham wrong on this. And the Fourth Amendment. Y'all know me, I say it all the time. How can you be an elected official, especially Senator Merkley, and not know the Constitution, what it does and doesn't cover? Just blurt out any old thing for your masses, for political gain. I mean, I'd love to see the lawsuit that comes before this, because I guarantee it's going to get slapped down in district court. Unless you have some silly activist that decides he or she wants to jump on board and try to be high and mighty and get points. But anyway, I gave you the receipts to the Portland situation. You know, the Fourth Amendment, the Oregon statute, the fact that Portland is a border town because it has an international border, nautical border, and it also has an international airport, which makes them a port of entry, which makes them a border also. So Portland, you're SOL. You lost control of your city. Trump saw an opportunity and he capitalized on it. And it makes you look dumb. It makes you look really dumb right now that you don't know your own ordinances and state law. So I appreciate y'all coming through and listening and checking the receipts out. Feel free to share this video with your Twitter following, your whatever social media following you're on nowadays. There's too many of them, and especially smack this down on a leftist that wants to talk about Portland and all this jazz, right? Because the receipts are here. The receipts are right here. So, this is just another way to correct the narrative, correct the misinformation from people about our laws and our Constitution. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay blessed, and you guys have a great and excellent weekend.